Hey folks, this is TWiP PRO Photo Critique number 73. This is TWiP. Hey, welcome back to another TWiP PRO Photo Critique. This is going to be a good one. We made the topic of this one you, so that you can interpret that however you wanted to. Troy Miller, what do you think about this topic and the submissions this week?
You know what? I was looking through all the submissions and I'm impressed because a lot of the descriptions people gave was they said, well, while I was contemplating what to do, I came up with XYZ. And I think that's really cool because it challenged everybody to kind of think about stuff. And we've got some really creative images in there. So I really like it. You got everything from snakes to Cinnabons.
Yeah, right. I know. No, the folks did a great job. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about these. I'm really excited to hear what you think about the shots that were submitted too. So a little housekeeping before we get going. So this is critique number 73. Next week will be 74.
Yep.
The topic was you. The next week's topic I thought we would make, continuing kind of in that personal vein, strength. So these are kind of ethereal concepts that can be interpreted however you want to. And I'm purposely casting the net a little bit wider versus saying, something more specific. Like when we did Father's Day, people were like, well, I lost my father, so I didn't do this and that. I'm like, father, it could be anything. It could be, whatever, there are lots of fathers. It could be a bug and it's kid or something. Right. So this one is also this one's very sort of open-ended, strength. So however you choose to interpret strength, whether it be, taking a photo of a bodybuilder or a muscle or just, a mom, anything like that just sort of shows that this thing is strong, or this person, place, or thing are strong. So that's the topic for next week. That's it. Anything you wanna update us on before we dive into the critique?
Nope. I'm still working on F64. So if you guys haven't checked that out, go to f64live.com and you can come join myself and Frederick in Corona for an all-day fun event. I'm still working out some details, so I'll have some new updates soon. Just once I put, the period at the end of all these little agreements and talks and stuff. So
yeah, cool. f64live.com, right?
Yeah.
There you go. All right, well, cool. Let's dive in to this week's critique. Let's see if I have it queued up here. Look at that. Look at me on the money.
Like a professional.
Like I've done this once or 73 times before. All right. First up is Michael DeRay. Let's take a look at this one. He made it just in under the wire. We just started recording this. It's 10:30 on July 8th Pacific time, and Michael submitted this about 26 minutes ago. So he says, it took a while to figure out what represents me, but when your brain never shuts down, it's like running with scissors. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I love it. I really like this a lot. This is definitely one of my favorites. I mean, right away it's the the shallow depth of field, or the effect there, the creative posing and the intent and the presentation. This is great. There's so many stories we could make up for this one if it wasn't within the topic even, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, and I'm constantly telling my daughter to not run with scissors. So it's funny when she grabs her little safety scissors, she walks with them pointed down, you know, and very, very like she's walking on hot lava or something. The scissors are sacred objects. So looking at this shot is the exact opposite of what I tell her to do. He's running over rocks with two pairs of scissors pointed up, so one for each eye, right? One for each eye.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I love this shot. I like this shot a lot. I like the processing. I like the thick border he put around this. Kind of gives it that old, medium format film kind of feel to it, at least in my head. Like I almost want to see the yellow numbers in the border.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, put that in there.
Mm-hmm. No, but very good. Nice work. I love this.
Yeah, this is great. Very good.
Thank you, Michael DeRay. Next up is James Glenny, and James says, I'm not sure how many of you are up on Tumblr memes, but when musing about what to do for this week's assignment, I came up that I'm what's known as a cinnamon roll, so I figured I'd roll with it. I want to know what that means. He's known as a cinnamon roll. Wait,
Yeah,
what?
I have no idea. So I'm definitely not up on Tumblr memes, so.
Me either. I can't even remember the last time I was on Tumblr intentionally. So.
Although I haven't had breakfast yet, so.
That does look good, doesn't it? That does. That's going to go straight. You eat that Troy Miller, it goes straight to your hips, man.
Yeah. I don't eat sweets, so I get like one bite out of there and I'm done.
You don't eat sweets.
No.
What kind of human are you?
Well, maybe. I mean, if it's chocolate, like chocolate is my weakness, so I'll eat chocolate cake for breakfast, but everything else I just leave.
Okay. All right. I'll leave it at that. We'll explore that further over drinks at F64.
Yes, there we go.
So if you come to Troy's house for drinks at F64, there will be no sweets served.
Well, there'll be cookies. There's chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So okay, so this shot as a from I get the reference in terms of there's something on Tumblr that refers to cinnamon rolls. I don't know what it is, and which is it's a plus and a minus, because the plus is if this was playing to an audience or this was posted to Tumblr, I would assume that many of the people there would immediately grok what it is. But
Right.
But outside of Tumblr, it's a shot of a cinnamon roll, right? It's a very good shot of a cinnamon roll.
It's a great shot of a cinnamon roll. I love the colors and the composition, the shallow depth of field. I mean, the sharpness, all those things photographically are there. It looks appetizing.
Yeah.
So very well. I just don't get the reference. Maybe we're too old. I don't know.
Speak for yourself, old man. No, but I love the colors in this too. The color palette, and the sort of greenish plate in the background, or turquoise plate in the background with the brown. It's a nice color palette that he's playing with. So very nice.
Yeah. Well done, James.
Yep. Thank you, James Glenny.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry. Mark Harris is up next, and Mark says, on our last full day in Palm Springs, California for the 2017 Photo Festival, my now fiance, congratulations, and I went to Joshua Tree National Park for sunrise. We made the obligatory long shadow photograph at about 6:25 before spending the next 11 hours in the park. We did a joint exhibit of our photographs from the trip titled Dual Vision. This was the background image for the flyer. I wasn't sure what to submit until I saw lambs. Then I remembered this one. Very cool. All right.
Nice.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, we got lots of those. Yeah, I love those. You got to take those. You got to get those shots in there.
Yeah, it's like something about your shadow beckons you to shoot it, right? It's like
Yep. Those are our family photos. When me and the family go out, there's always one of these to document where we've been.
Oh, nice. On any particular background or just random?
Just random. Yeah, as long as it's our shadows. I mean, I have a whole gallery full of shadow photos of us. So
very nice. Very nice. I like it.
Yep. Very cool.
All right. That was Mark Harris. Thank you, Mark. All right. Next shot up is from Joshua Sommerfeld. Joshua says, I could have posted any of my work for this topic. Every photo I take, every model I make, every piece of art I do is me. That sounds like a song lyric.
I know.
Is it Sting right that? Yeah, this is a Sting lyric.
That's Sting. Is he channeling Sting?
I heard that music kick up.
He's saying it in parcel tongue. So.
Yeah, there you go. In this case, you're literally seeing me. That is my reflection in the snake's eye. Let's take a look. I can't, I was looking at this and I can't find, maybe it's my display or maybe it's my eyeballs, but I couldn't see him in the snake's eye. Do you see him in there?
Yeah, I see him in there.
Wait, where is he? Wait.
Yeah, you can barely see him. Like if you look in the snake, there's a horizontal line that goes from maybe like 7 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And it looks like his face is right above that.
All right. I'm going to have to take this into Photoshop or something and zoom in on that eye and do some forensic work on it.
Yeah.
But, I'll take your word for it. If you see it, it's in there. But what do you think of the snake shot?
I did. I mean, I've never seen so many snakes since, until Joshua started posting them. So I enjoy them. I think it's really great. My only suggestion for this one is that there's a fill flash. And it looks like, the color balance with the fill flash, the flash is bluer. It's more daylight balanced, and the ambient light is warmer. So I would suggest that you just grab that blue channel and, desaturate it or add some warmth to it, or just try to remember to filter the strobe so your color balances match. I think that would help, because that little blue reflection to me is just that strobe. And maybe just because I see that in my wedding stuff all the time, I'm always trying to make sure I balance the color.
Interesting.
But I
never would have caught that. But you've shot at least a dozen weddings by now, so you get it.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things my brain catches now. I can tell. I see two different colors of light.
But have you seen a wedding photo where the groom looked like this?
No, not in my weddings. No.
It's usually closer to the divorce. They start looking like this. Right?
I don't get to see those.
That's awesome. All right, let's move on to the next photo. Thanks again, Joshua Sommerfeld. Next shot is from Ernest Hallett. I haven't seen much from Ernest in here. Welcome, Ernest. Ernest says, not so many, so I put in 2. This is from the favorite look. This is from the creative look out of the lens. 3 shots in one. Just how me sometimes works. I call this one Storm Eyes, but I think she really is watching Troy play with fire over there. LOL. Yeah. If she's watching Troy play with fire over there, there'd be a tear coming out of that left eye.
No.
Yeah. Well, cool. This is kind of in that portrait composite range. What do you think of this shot, Troy?
I dig it. I really do. I mean, there's a couple little things that I might adjust within it, but I love the combination of the eyes and the tree line, which that's to me is just such a super cool combination. And then the color toning, I love that warm color tone. It's sort of eerie sci-fi, futuristic type feel for me. I dig it. I think it's really well done.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting, the highlights in her eyes. That's an interesting pattern. It almost looks like old school car headlights or something in there, right?
Are those the same eyes that are in her avatar photo? I think those are the same eyes.
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know.
I think so. I don't know.
They're haunting eyes in this shot.
They're haunting eyes. Yeah. My only 2 little suggestions are I wish that the eyes were more to the camera left with some space in front of them as opposed to all the way to that right edge. I feel like it would help if they were looking, into a little bit of space. And then I don't know if we need that orange across the bottom. I almost feel like we could crop that off, and then the focus really is drawn to the eyes, or maybe burn that lower quadrant down just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really like it. And, I'm happy to go light something on fire just to kind of make this all happen.
Anytime, right? Troy combustion must happen, Miller. Right?
I got a lighter within reach. So
Of course you do. All right. Well, cool. Well, thank you, Ernest. All right. Next shot is another one from Ernest. We don't normally allow to, but we'll go ahead and do this one this time. Said, this is me looking out of camera, an old shot. Looking out of the camera, an old shot. Can you guess when? I will take the highlight issue all day long if this happens. So he's talking about the highlight on the hair.
Yeah, on the head. Yeah, for that moment, that spontaneous moment, you the overexposure of the highlight and stuff's not a big deal. So.
Would you, as a portrait, if you had gotten this shot at a wedding and this was like one of the critical shots of the wedding, like, this was great grandfather and he's no longer with us, but there's that damn highlight right there that you wanted to somehow fix, what would you do as a photographer? So, or your only shot like this, what would you do as a professional wedding photographer, knowing this needed to be presented to the client?
I'd leave it. I mean, my client doesn't care. Most of the clients will look at their faces, look at the expressions of their loved ones. They don't see all the things that we see. That's my job to try to make that better if I can. But if I can't, I'm okay with it. I let it go. because that's not really changing the essence of the photograph that I'm trying to capture for them. So this isn't going to win any awards with a blown highlight, and other photographers are going to look at it and go, oh gosh, wish we could have fixed that. But the client doesn't see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, like if this was a corporate staged event, they're gonna nitpick that, right? Like you had control. But at a wedding or some type of event where it's more photojournalistic, nah, you just go with it. Don't even worry about it.
Love it. Love it. Cool. Wisdom words from Troy Miller. All right, let's move right along. All right. Armando is in the house. Armando says, this was 8 files I took in my dining room with just one flash with a 16 millimeter and made a pano with Photoshop.
Very cool.
I don't know. One of those guys is evil. I don't know which one.
I feel like the second one in from the right, he's got a little bit of a scowl that reminds me of like a history teacher, like I didn't do my homework and
mm-hmm. Yeah, the scowl of disapproval.
Yeah.
What's interesting about this shot? I love the composite work. This is called multiplicity. I actually teach this in one of the workshops that I do. And this, looking at, I don't know if it's the lens itself or what optics or lighting, but he looks like a cardboard cutout in here. Like a lot of these, he looks like he's not really there. I know he's not really there because these are composited in, but there's, I don't know. I was hoping you could tell me, because looking at these, do you see that? It kind of feels like something makes him look like one of them's real and the rest of them are perfectly printed cardboard cutouts put around that table. What do you think?
Well, I mean, they had to be layered, right? So
yeah. But, how do you get that dimension? What's the word I'm looking for? Dimensionality, in order to make them more realistically fit in the frame. I see the one, like if you look at the right of the frame, mm-hmm. The second one in, like you were talking about, that one, you could see a little bit of the masking halo around his head there, especially against the black shirt of the him behind him. So that, that notwithstanding, the rest of it is a great compositing job. But I'm wondering, maybe TWiP PRO can chime in. What am I missing? That is it shading? Is it shadows? Is it what am I missing? That maybe the guys aren't casting shadows on each other in the background, and that's what's throwing me off?
Yeah, maybe. Sure. I mean, you got to remember, like every photograph is actually him in the foreground, right? So you should, for every subject, you would see all of that subject, and then mm-hmm. what he did to composite them is he layered them. So that layering is probably what's feeling unnatural, because everything's in focus. There's no shadows on each other, because each shot should show the whole body. So the two Armandos in the background, you would see his whole body, but the Armandos in the foreground had to layer over the top of him. So yeah, I think that's where you're seeing that look. Plus with the fisheye, everything's going to be pretty much in focus all the way through the frame. So there's not a lot of depth of field or, out of focus background stuff.
Got it.
I dig it. Cool.
Yeah. I love these kind of shots. The talk that I do is called Time Travel for Photographers. And, this is part of it, where you talk about compressing time, things that happened in many different instances, and compositing them together in one frame to compress time, because we can, All right, Armando, thank you. Now I feel like I know you, since we've met, 3, 6, 8 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. Cool.
Yeah, I like how we made every expression slightly different, too. I think that
mm-hmm. was you see, if he was really into it, he would have changed his shirt. See? Just saying. All right, here's Craig Stampley. He says, I want to read this in an Australian accent, but I'm afraid. I tend to be quite literal person, and after a bit of self-reflection for this week's critique, I stumbled upon this concept. When I'm not shooting, I spend more time at my desk than I should, so this seemed doubly appropriate. Look at that.
Awesome. Yeah.
So this is him at his computer, it looks like, right?
Yeah. With his Peak Design camera strap, and I can't see what lens that is.
It looks like that's a Fujifilm camera, right? It looks like a rangefinder camera.
I can't tell.
I'm going to go with Fujifilm.
I can't tell. Looks like he has a black titanium wedding ring and
Yeah, it's probably tungsten. Just gonna say.
tungsten. Yeah, tungsten. Yeah, I like titanium because it's heavy and
Yeah,
it burns really cool.
yeah. So does tungsten. You know, tungsten is what's in light bulbs. Just saying.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. I've got both. Cool shot. I dig it. I wouldn't know that was a computer, maybe like the reflection of the screen of a computer or something like that. That's kind of how I see that. I don't know if that's maybe his laptop lid in the foreground or something. But it's a great self-portrait. I love these. I really do. I think all photographers need to have one of these.
Yeah, I agree. And you see those photographers that have self-portraits on their business cards.
I know where you're going.
On the business cards, right? Which I'm not a fan of. I actually had a business card like that when I was in the military. I printed one up, but this was decades ago, right? But I printed one up, made one of the first photo business cards, made a bunch of wallet-sized shots, and printed them up in the darkroom. And I never handed them out because it just felt weird giving people pictures of myself.
Like holding your camera up next to you, like, oh, look, here's my camera.
I gotta find that shot. Yeah, like pensive. Oh, you caught me in the midst of taking a photo. That was totally like that.
I know.
I had that shot. I'm gonna find that and post it in TWiP Pro.
There's a bunch of people listening right now going, oh my God, that's my
Yep.
that's my
photo. Yeah, that was, maybe it's a personal thing, but I just, every time I wanted to hand that photo out, I just felt bad. I'm like, here's a picture of me not really at work with my camera. Yeah. So I ended up taking it off.
To do with Greg's photo, by the way.
But okay, let me tie it in. Let me bring it full circle. If I was gonna put my photo on a business card, it would be like this.
It's okay.
Yeah, where the camera is obscuring my face and it's very artistically done, and you're not sure if it's me or not, but if you know me, you know it's me. That kind of thing. So,
right.
Yeah. So I like the shot though. I like the sort of washed outness where his blacks aren't completely black in here. So yeah, I think it's really good. What do you think how this would have come out if he had made those blacks black?
I would have preferred it. I think what I would love to have seen is taking the blacks down to where you can't really see his our camera left eye. And to me, it would have just been his hands, a little bit of his forehead, and the camera. I would have liked that better. To me, it would have been more abstract, but that's just preference.
Yeah, very good. All right, Craig Stampley from the land down under. I got that song in my head now. Do you come from the land down under? Lamb is up. Lamb was the inspiration for that earlier shot. And he says, I'm not going to read all this, but he says he was walking up a steep pavement and the bright sun was at 45 degrees behind him. And he got this shadow. Let's go ahead and take a look. This is interesting. This is complex because I'm looking at, it looks like he's got so that's a walking stick in his hand, and it makes you look at it. This is good. So Craig Stampley can appreciate the walking stick. He was raving about him in one of the member mixers. That's what two of those helped him on that long walking trek he did.
Right.
Yeah. I'm curious. So I like the shadow. I really like the self-portrait in the shadow idea. I think that makes a lot of sense because it's you, but it's not you. It's the light revealing the outline of you. What do you think of this?
I love shadows. First of all, I mean, shadows are one of my favorite things. So I photograph them a lot as well. And when it's us in the shadow or somebody that we know, it's kind of mysterious. And I dig that. And now in this element, I really like the fact that we have his hand. We can kind of come up with a story of his walking stick and his hiking shoes and, the texture of the pavement. And it tells a really good story. I really like it. Yeah.
And again, in the Miller family album, there's a whole series of these shots, right?
Yep. Yeah, I'm very attracted to shadows of any sorts. I mean, we'll go on walks and I'll take pictures of the shadows the grass is making, across the sidewalks and stuff like that. So, seeing the shadow shots are one of my favorite.
Lovely. Very cool. All right. Thank you, Lamb. I love how Lamb is participating in almost every critique. That is very awesome. Thank you, Lamb.
Yep.
Alicia's up next. And Alicia says, "The Threes of Me. This is a triple exposure self-portrait shot in camera with a Nikon D80 and edited with Photoshop Elements 2.0. Insert nerd grin. Inserted. I remember only having an 18 to 55 millimeter lens at this time. I can't locate the original file for metadata past that. It is not my favorite image from a technical standpoint, but I was still able to tell the story."
Yeah, that's very cool.
Hey.
Yeah, I dig it. So we got two multiple exposures going on in here,
Yep.
right?
Multiplicity, and this one is a ghosted multiplicity. Look at that.
Yeah.
So a Nikon D80, that's still a digital camera, right? That's not film. I guess the D means digital, right?
Yeah.
I'm new here. No, I like this. I like this a lot because, in looking at the shot, I like the fact that it's ghosted, so you could infer your own story of this, this maybe, kicking in the science fiction brain on this point at a certain time, every 10 years, the dimensions align so that three different hers can come together and console them. Yeah, on that very bench. But from a technical standpoint, I love the shadow of the trees on the lake and how they kind of translate through the ghosted versions of Alicia to make her shirts look a little tie-dyed. It's kind of cool. I like that. And when I first looked at it, I thought, oh, they're wearing tie-dye shirts. But no, that's actually the reflection from the lake in there.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So I was just about to comment on that as well. I like that sort of multiplicity that's going on, not just in the three of them, but in the skyline as well. So there's a lot going on in there. Like what you said, you've got the trees, that outline of the trees, and then their shirts and the different poses for each one. It's very cool story here.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you, Alicia. Very, very good. I love that short story essay that she wrote in there about just sort of the creativity hoarding and don't look at my marbles nature that she hits in her local area sometimes. These are my marbles.
Right.
Or you're a photographer, so you're not a real artist, as they sip their wine with their pinky sticking out. Peter Levshin's up next. Peter says, the Sony A7R II infrared 24 millimeter. This is a picture of you, Troy, at work. Like all real men do welding, grinding, cutting, bleeding, spitting, etc. This is the real Troy. Everything else is just smoke and mirrors. Done very well. Like I said, Troy, when the zombie apocalypse comes, you are going to be the king because all the people that are stuck to their phones and no longer have phones will be coming to you for like, hey, can you make me a knife and some cups?
I remember when he took this. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, he put this in image competition and did okay.
What are you making here? Like, what is this?
Chairs. Those are my chairs. I made those chairs for my living room.
Oh, I've seen those chairs.
You sat in those chairs, yeah.
Yeah, that's how they were created.
Yep.
Look at that. Okay, nice. Very nice. All right. Well, this doesn't actually fit into the criterion of you, aside from if you includes blatant pandering to the judge.
Yeah. Well, no, I told Peter, I said, I want that image. You got to send me that image and I'll submit that as me. And instead of him doing that, he just he put it in anyway. So thanks, Peter.
Oh, I love it. No, this is a good shot of you. This is really cool. Very cool. Yep, you and your native habitat. You need a little series of you on the wall in your house, like the different shades, like 50 Shades of Troy. Like, this is Troy woodworking. This is Troy making pottery. This is Troy blowing stuff up. This is Troy shooting a gun. This is Troy riding his dirt bike. This is Troy taking photos.
Secrets. Well, not anymore.
Exactly. You're outed, man. No, you've revealed each one of those in various of these 74 episodes that we've recorded. So
Probably.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's a cool shot. Thanks, Peter. All right. I think that's the end of the line here.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, that is it. Do you have a favorite that you want to pick?
I do, and I think it's Michael DeRay's.
Yeah. Yep. I like that one too.
There's lots of favorites. I mean, like every time it's so hard to choose. Like I'd really like to pick the Cinnabon, and the snake and the eyes because it's looking at me with fire, and Armando's. I mean, I love everything, but I really love the running with scissors. For some reason, that whole concept is just very appealing to me.
I feel like that was that sounds like the title of like a British comedy show or something. Was there a show named Running with Scissors or some kind of comedy troupe or something? It sounds really familiar. That's a job for Google.
Oh no, that's going to be my rock band's title, Running with Scissors.
Running with Scissors. And I'll be in the competing band, Put Your Eye Out.
Oh, Mouse Rat. It would be Mouse Rat.
Here you go. It'd be like Prince and the Revolution versus The Time, right? So, we'll battle each other on stage.
Oh my gosh.
Love it. Cool, man. Well, that's it. That's it for this critique. Like I said, for next week, we're going to go with strength as the title. Strength, however you want to interpret it. And that's a wide range. Even that shot that Peter submitted of you could be strength, right? Because that's strong. That's like a dude grinding metal.
I mean, strength is the more that I think about it, it could be a tree, it could be, a father with their child, it could be a picture of a dam, it could be a hinge, it could be, a gusset, in
almost
a patio.
Anything, right? Almost anything you look at has some kind of strength, or else it would not be there.
Like the anvil, where is it at? Over there.
Oh yeah, I kind of see it. Yeah, that's strength.
Right there.
Yeah. Anything, even down to the atom, the atomic level, right? They have a certain amount of strength in order to do their thing. So
this is true.
Yep, everything has strength. So get out there and shoot something that has strength. I posted a photo to TWiP Pro yesterday of this guy I met, Moon. And you commented
very
on that
cool.
photo.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah, I shot that with that Fuji GFX 100, and it occurred to me that his story is strength as well, because getting divorced and having basically getting all your stuff taken away from you, and then overcoming it is a huge form of strength. So.
Right.
If you haven't seen that story, I posted in TWiP Pro. Get in there. If it's buried, search for Moon. Over, what is it called? Moon over the Bay Bridge, or Moon over the Golden Gate. I titled it. So go check it out.
I was gonna look it up again, but yeah, super cool. Yeah, really interesting story, and not too bad of photos either.
Hey, I know my way around the shutter button here and there. Yeah, expect more of that. Joshua Sommerfeld threw the gauntlet down and said, "Hey, I don't even know if Frederick shoots or not." All right. Poke the bear, baby. Poke the bear. Yeah. Now you shall see what we see. A lot of my stuff is, it'll be controversial. Let's just say that, because I like controversy, and I like stirring pots and starting conversation. The moon shot, we'll call it, or the moon shots were not that controversial. But you'll find when I start posting a lot of photos, there's usually a story that goes along with them, rather than just the story to stand alone by itself. Like, I was kicking myself after I left Moon because I had my Zoom digital audio recorder with me, and I was like, crap, I should have recorded that song and posted it,
That would have been great.
Yeah. I didn't think about it until literally I was driving away and sort of forming the story in my head, how I was going to write it. And I was like, oh man, it would have been great to have audio to go with this.
Well, he's there every Sunday.
He is there. Maybe I'll go back. Yeah. Moon Part 2 or something.
Yeah, that would be amazing. And I bet he would be down for that.
Yeah, I should go up there, see if I can catch him. Who knows what time he shows up there? So, yeah, I'll get up there, see if I can catch him. Any parting shots before we close this one off?
Nope. I said everything in the beginning. I think we're good.
All right, cool. All right, folks. Well, that's it for this TWiP Pro Photo Critique. Like I said, next week is strength. And we'll see you then. Peace.
All right. Ciao.
This is TWiP.